Welcome everyone and thank you for tuning in to this exciting and fascinating journey into one of the most unbelievable coin stories ever to come out of the United States Mint. A story that proves how something so small and ordinary can suddenly become a legendary treasure. Today we are diving deep into the mystery, hype, history, rumors, facts, and collector frenzy surrounding what has been called the 2007 P. Roosevelt dime that some claim could be worth up to $45 million. A tiny coin with a face value of just 10 cents that has captured imaginations all over the world, sparked heated debates among experts, and inspired thousands of people to search through their pocket change hoping to find the same miracle. So settle in, stay with me, and let's explore how this simple dime could possibly be valued at a price that rivals luxury mansions, rare paintings, and even private islands. Because the truth behind this coin is a wild mix of minting errors, rare varieties, speculative stories, historical coincidences, collector psychology, and the powerful human desire to believe that life-changing treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And before we go any further, it is important to understand that while the $45 million figure is often repeated online and in social media circles, it represents the extreme top end of what is rumored or theoretically possible under perfect circumstances involving unique errors and a bidding war between ultra-wealthy collectors. But even if that exact number is debated, the story of why a 2007 P dime could ever be associated with such an outrageous value is still one of the most compelling modern numismatic legends, because it reveals how rarity, error, mystery, and storytelling can transform an everyday object into something that feels priceless. So let's start with the basics. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and by 2007 the design was familiar to everyone, with Roosevelt's profile on the front and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the back. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these coins every year, and normally a 2007 P dime in average condition is worth only its face value, maybe a little more if it is uncirculated, but nothing extraordinary. Yet hidden among those millions are rumored and documented minting errors that can radically change a coin's value. And this is where the legend begins. Because collectors know that the most valuable coins are not always the oldest or the most beautiful, but often the ones that are wrong in just the right way, mistakes that slip through quality control and enter circulation, becoming rare survivors of a moment when the minting process failed. And in 2007 the US Mint was producing massive quantities of coins using high-speed presses, automated inspection systems, and enormous production demands, which increases the chance that a few dramatic errors could escape detection, and among these possible errors are off-metal strikes, double dies, missing mint marks, wrong planchet strikes, misaligned dies, clipped planchets, struck through grease, and more, each one adding layers of uniqueness to a coin that was never meant to exist. And collectors love what was never meant to exist, because it represents a one-of-a-kind accident frozen in time. Now, one of the most talked about possibilities connected to the 2007 P dime is the idea that it could have been struck on the wrong metal, such as a silver or foreign planchet, instead of the standard copper-nickel-clad composition, and if a dime meant to be a modern-clad coin was instead struck on a rare silver or experimental planchet, that alone could make it extraordinarily valuable, especially if the metal content and weight prove it is something that should never have been in the production line. And when combined with a mint mark anomaly, such as a missing or malformed P, or a strange doubled mint mark effect, the coin suddenly becomes a once-in-a-lifetime specimen. And this is where speculation about the $45 million price comes into play, because the most expensive coins in the world are not just rare, they are unique, historically important, and surrounded by mystery. And people imagine that if a single 2007 P dime existed with a combination of extreme errors, such as being struck on the wrong metal, having a dramatic double die on both sides showing a mint mark error, and possessing a provenance that proves it escaped from the mint in a highly unusual way, then the sky could be the limit in a private sale between billionaire collectors. And while such a coin has not been publicly auctioned for that amount, the rumor persists because it reflects the power of what collectors believe might be possible, and belief is a powerful force in the collectibles world, where stories can sometimes drive values just as much as facts. Now let's talk about The double die phenomenon, because this is one of the most famous and valuable error types in US coinage. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been misaligned during its creation, causing the design elements to appear doubled, not just blurred, but clearly separated, and when this happens on a major design element like Roosevelt's eye, nose, mouth, or the lettering, it becomes instantly noticeable to trained collectors, and a strong double die on a modern coin is incredibly rare, because modern minting technology is designed to prevent such mistakes. So if a 2007 dime were found with a bold, dramatic double die on the obverse and reverse, it would immediately become one of the most important modern era coins ever discovered. And when people imagine this error combined with others, such as a wrong planchet or mint mark anomaly, they start to imagine astronomical values, because it would be a perfect storm of rarity. And then there is the topic of mint mark errors. Even though the P mint mark for Philadelphia is standard on 2007 dimes, collectors sometimes report coins where the mint mark appears faint, distorted, doubled, or missing entirely. And while many of these are simply the result of wear or grease-filled dies, a true mint mark error that is verified by a major grading service can significantly increase a coin's value, especially if it is part of a broader pattern of errors from the same year or mint. And this leads into the idea of possibilities, because in the world of numismatics, possibilities are just as exciting as proven facts. People love to imagine that somewhere, perhaps in a forgotten jar of change, lies a coin so strange and so perfect in its wrongness that it could rewrite the record books, and the 2007 dime has become a symbol of that hope, a modern treasure hunt that anyone can participate in. Because you don't need a metal detector or a map, just a magnifying glass and a willingness to look closely at the coins you already have, and this is why stories about million-dollar modern coins spread so quickly. They tap into the dream that ordinary life can suddenly turn extraordinary, and when people hear about a dime possibly being worth $45 million, it sparks curiosity, skepticism, excitement, and debate, all at once, and that conversation keeps the legend alive. Now it is also important to understand how the collectibles market works, because prices are not set by logic alone. They are set by what someone is willing to pay, and in the highest tiers of collecting, buyers are often ultra-wealthy individuals who see rare coins not only as objects of beauty and history, but also as investments and status symbols. Owning something that no one else can own is a powerful statement. And if a truly unique 2007 dime with multiple extreme errors were ever authenticated and offered in a high-profile private sale, the bidding could theoretically reach astonishing levels. Especially if 2 or more collectors became emotionally invested in owning it, and this is how record-breaking prices are born, not from catalog values, but from human competition and desire. And while today the $45 million figure remains more of a legend than a confirmed sale, the underlying message is still valid: errors can transform a coin's destiny. And even modern coins can become priceless under the right conditions, and this is why collectors carefully examine every detail. From the thickness of the rim to the alignment of the strike, from the weight and metal composition to the sharpness of the design, because any deviation from the norm could be the clue that something extraordinary has happened. And the 2007 dime is a perfect example of how a common coin can become the center of a modern myth, inspiring people to learn about minting, history, and the hidden